In this video, we're going to talk about everything you need to know if you're thinking about getting married at the Wedding Tree in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Today, Kayla is talking with me. She's a wedding photographer based out of Wyoming. She's lovely. Her work is beautiful. I actually worked my first wedding at the Wedding Tree with Kayla and one of her couples that she recommended to me. And so now here we go. Kayla is our expert. Tell us what the Wedding Tree is. Just set the stage. What is it? If somebody doesn't know, they're like, I've heard about it.
So the Wedding Tree is a beautiful location within the Grand Tetons National Forest. Couples choose to get married there just because you can have a few more people than within some of the ceremonies within Grand Tetons National Park. But it also has an iconic, stunning view of the Tetons, along with a beautiful drive up there. Craig knows that same wedding that we did that first time. We got to drive through a beautiful herd of bighorn sheep on the way up there. You drive past ranches and horses. It's just a beautiful, it really creates an experience for your wedding to have this drive up there. But the Wedding Tree got really popular because there's these two trees that come up and they just kind of frame the Tetons. And I don't remember exactly how it got dubbed the Wedding Tree, other than I think people just started getting married there. But it's been damaged a little bit since through some storms. So, anytime you're getting married in nature, obviously, it's not always the kindest. So the trees have changed a little bit over the years. Just makes weddings a little bit more interesting and unique. But it's a common location because you can have up to 75 people there. And you just make reservations through the National Forest. They do ask that, whether it's an elopement with 2 people or a wedding. They have a very small parking lot as well. So it's really important to get a hold of them and make plans because they only allow 6 cars total. So some couples, I think our couple did that where they rented a bus. Yeah. So you can rent a shuttle. Sorry, this fly is going crazy. You can rent a shuttle, and then it's just great because, again, it engages this phenomenal experience for weddings to where you just get to enjoy the ride up there. You get up there, it's just stunningly beautiful. And then you can have this beautiful drive down too with the Teton view. But a couple things about the National Forest. They don't limit weddings there. So in that sense, it's great because you can schedule your wedding and you don't have to worry about, within the national park, they have gotten a little bit stricter with their guidelines and how many weddings they allow. So it's a little bit more of an open area. It is free of charge as long as it's under 75 people. And I was thinking that they didn't allow over 75, but I said that wrong. You can have over 75 people, I believe, but there is a fee at that point. And one of the important things about this location, as with any location within the National Forest or the National Park, is that you really want to make sure that you follow guidelines. And that's important for both vendors and couples. So, vendor-wise, you have invasive species. So you don't want to introduce baby's breath. Baby's breath is actually an invasive species. And so they do not allow that. So you would want to make sure that your bouquet doesn't have baby's breath in it. And hopefully if you hire a florist that knows all this, then, they'll make sure to not include invasive species in there. But you just want to be really careful of the leave no trace policy. You can't throw out bird seed, things like that. They don't allow for sound systems up there. So there are some regulations that you want to follow, just like within the national park, but it's a great option in addition to the national park.
It's funny when we shot our wedding up there, like you were saying, the parking lot's small, and then you have a little hike. It's not even that long, not really much elevation gain at all. You hike out to the venue. For the older couples, they take it a little bit slow. And even though you don't have acoustics or anything like that, I found everything was fairly easy to hear when the couple was saying their adieus. I didn't think I can't hear these people, even though you're kind of on the side of a ledge. And I guess on a windy day it could be different, but it was really beautiful, great views, dress warm depending on the season.
Yeah. So another great feature of the Wedding Tree is that it is accessible year round, which is another reason why couples like to get married there. And, it does get a little snow-packed, but usually even in the wintertime, it's still a great location. I shot there year-round, December, January, February, couples, they get married there year-round. So it is a short hike. Usually everybody can access it fairly well. It's not accessible by handicap. like wheelchair standards. So that is a little bit more of a challenge there. But outside of that, it is just kind of like a short, easy walk. And it does get really windy sometimes, but, just add a little extra hairspray to the hair and you're good.
What do you see when couples do get married there? It's a piece of the equation. Where do you see them go for reception, preps? Like, do couples kind of get ready downtown? You see them usually shuttle, maybe do a 20-30 minute ceremony and then come right back. Is that typically how you see it used?
Yeah, so I have couples. One of the great features of my couples is that they're all non-traditional and almost everyone's unique. So sometimes we meet them up there, we do a first look, then a ceremony. Sometimes we start off with the ceremony there. Sometimes we have getting ready photos in town. So I had an amazing couple earlier this year that we went to their getting ready locations. We did photos of both the bride and her family and friends, and then we did groom and his family and friends. And then we went up there. And so for each couple, it's different. And, that's something as a photographer, you kind of keep that in mind whenever you're finding out venue, what the couple wants, and you're scheduling that timeline. But it's possible to really do anything. And I definitely like getting some of those getting ready shots and then going out for the ceremony afterwards. Sometimes they'll have a reception location. So that might look like, if it's a really small, intimate wedding, sometimes they just reserve a restaurant in a private room at a restaurant. Other weddings, like the one you and I did, they reserved the winery, which is a beautiful location. You still have a little bit of a Teton view, but more importantly, you have this like stunning golden light at sunset, a beautiful little river or creek that goes through there, a cute cabin, wet winery vibe. And that's really nice because couples they can get married in this beautiful natural landscape. And then, maybe we hop around to the national park to do photos afterwards, and then you go hop into the reception. So usually we do photos in between from the ceremony and the reception. And, we hop into the park, usually get some different angles of the mountains or different locations there. And then we go into that reception location where we can stay and party all night if they want, or, whatever.
Thanks so much, Kayla. That was really helpful. If you guys are looking for a little bit more information and looking for reference to things that we mentioned, I'll include them in the links below. So a link to the park website so you can actually reserve it and things like that. Additionally, if you want to hire Kayla as your photographer, who is an expert and would be a fantastic guide for you at the Wedding Tree, or if you're looking for video, for me, you can check the links down below and you can get to both of our work. And we also did another video where we talked about all the venues in Jackson and kind of gave you a broad overview of what does it look like. So if you're like, well, the Wedding Tree isn't for me, be sure to check out that video, which I'll link below as well. Thank you.